Alright, I'm back for another devlog on our game called Layers Deep. That's right, we have a name now. Thank you to everyone who helped us pick a name. So if you're new here, my name's Josh. I'm making a video game. We've come a long way in these past few months. We went from porting our entire game to Godot, scrapping the idea entirely, starting fresh. We changed our entire game and are now making a Metroidvania based on an onion in a southern Louisiana type bayou, heavily inspired by Over the Garden Wall. In today's devlog though, instead of just going over all the changes that have been made to the game, and believe me, there's a lot. We've done quite a bit in these past 2 months since my last video. I want to try something different in this video, and I want to just take one of the many things we did over the past few months and break that one thing down, just one really cool idea, and show you from start to finish how we built it. And I think it'd be really fun for our first boss fight in the game. Talked a lot about how we want the combat and the boss fights to be, and what's really important to us is that the boss fights feel like an actual fight. I'm a big fan of the Souls games, not saying that that's what our combat's going to be like, but something I really like is when the pacing of a fight isn't slowed down and the boss feels like he's attacking you and you can dodge it and fight back and you can always get a hit in, and you can, as long as you're skilled, the fight should keep moving on, and we don't want to stop the fight or do any sort of arbitrary, like, you need to shoot the glowing eye 3 times. That kind of boss design I feel like is really dated. Okay, so when making our boss, the first step we did was we hopped in a call and we conceptualized like the lore and story behind the boss and the idea that we wanted to present. In the demo so far, all the enemies are kind of like pumpkins and gourds that are like zombified, and we figured this boss should be just like a big version of that. So we just started kind of riffing on it. We like made a room, you walk into the room, the doors close behind you. I have this like pumpkin guy sitting on a chair, and he has like stuff coming out of his eyes, and you can tell something's off about this guy, and then his head rolls off his body and then starts to animate and attack you. That's the idea we had for the boss. Started sketching out how this boss is going to behave and move. We wanted to do something simple. This is the first boss in the game. This is the first boss we've made. So we figured, let's make it fun, but like, let's do something straightforward. And so the idea we had is like the pumpkin sprints at you. If you dodge it, it like runs into the wall, and then it sprints at you again. And then like it has a ranged attack and it jumps around kind of randomly to kind of throw you off. And so that's about it. That's where we started. So the first thing I did was I started sketching out some rough animation of the boss, just something we could use to like get the timing down, because timing is really important in combat driven games, and we'd like to use the animation system to call a lot of our methods. It's a very animation focused combat, which is what I prefer. I'm going to cut to other guy, and I'm going to explain how the code for this video game works. So when the boss spawns in, it spawns into its ready function, which is just a block of code that is like, we're ready, you're good to go. And then the first thing he does is he finds the player. Then he hangs out. So we're over to hang out. While he's hanging out, we count how many times he does the idle animation. And then we say idle plus 1. He did the idle animation. And we take that number and we say, hey, did 1 idle animation? Now it's 2. Now that we have the idle number, it's gonna just pick a location in the boss room. And then when the location is picked, we're gonna jump to it. He's going to choose an attack. He's gonna go do a ranged attack, or he's gonna do a chase. If he does the range attack, then we send it back. Where does it go? He goes back to hanging out. He's probably gonna chase you now. And what we do here is we just have a run at the player, and if he hits the player, he hurts you. But we have him do this until he hits a wall. And if he hits the wall, then he's dazed. And then after he's been dazed for a little bit, he goes back to hanging out. And that's it. That's how simple the boss is. That's how easy it is to code a boss.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Okay, and now that the boss is working functionally, and we know that the code is working and we're printing out every state that the boss is in, and the timing is feeling good, it's time to nail down some final artwork. And there goes 2 weeks. So, turns out traditionally animating a boss takes a long time, especially when you have all these different moves and states. And that just, that took a lot longer than I thought it would be. That took a lot longer than I thought it would. The boss is looking good. He's fully animated. The timing, impeccable. He's a little more difficult than I thought he would be. Now we just gotta polish the rest of this dang thing up and we're good. So I spent another 2 days painting the background, just painting a bunch of assets and then assembling them in the boss room and making it look pretty. The first zone of the game, we're thinking we're going to call it the thicket. So it's like a thick, foresty kind of zone. So we figured this boss room would be like an interior, but not fully. So we like just bushes. It's bush and trees and just foliage all over the walls. And it's like a nice little cornucopia room that you kill a reanimated zombie pumpkin in. When the background is all pretty, what I did was started making the audio for the boss. So here's me recording the audio. Here's that. I took that noise that I made, I pitched it down, added some big room reverb onto it, and slapped it inside the boss. Slapped it in him. Put it in him. And that's the boss fight done. Here's a video of me fighting it. Hi, dark kitchen hallway Josh here to just say thank you guys for watching the whole video. Been a crazy few months working on this game full time. Hopefully it'll pay off. We're about to see, because in April we're gonna launch our Kickstarter and we're going to find out if this was a big waste of time or not. So stay tuned, and I'm really scared to do all that, but just keeping it 100 with ya. That's the plan. That's what we're gonna do. So yeah, Dark Hallway Joshua out. Thank you.